We're back with Democratic strategist Andrew Feldman and former Republican Congressman Jack Kingston of the great state of Georgia. Gentlemen, some presidential political news. So first of all, this is just like a little bit of a tantalizing, interesting tease. Apparently Eric Swalwell is having a press conference today.
For a major announcement.
For a major announcement at 1 p.m. There is some speculation that we may get the first big presidential dropout today. What do you think, Congressman?
It would be nice to see him have a press conference that doesn't involve Mueller.
Well played.
You know, I think if you skip the 4th of July festivities as he's done, that he's probably finished. But I think Phil Graham told me this in reflecting on the 1996 primary he had with Bob Dole. He said, you know, you really don't run out of votes. It's not as much about Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. He said you run out of money.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you got the money, you can stay in the game. And if you don't have the money, you're just going in the hole. And I think that the finances could be dictating this decision.
Well, yeah, he's not
I don't
even
think
in
he'll
the
be the
top
only
20,
one.
right, Andrew? I mean, it's
no,
just.
I mean, I
it's
don't.
not
I mean,
sustainable.
he tried at the debate very hard to break in. I thought he did not perform well, regardless of what some people on Twitter feel. I thought he was swinging and missing each time he was at the plate. And I
felt very forced.
I agree.
Very forced, very forced. You know, and just not natural at all. And I don't get the Swalwell presidential candidacy. He has a spot on the Intelligence Committee. You know, he can be a powerful member of the House. He has another opportunity to, you know, to grow his young 30s. He's in, you know, young 30s. You know, but the problem is now he's going to have failed presidential candidate next to his name. If this is what this announcement means, he could be announcing his vice presidential pick. I'm not sure. But, you know, I just think that this.
Maybe. You never know.
Most people. Many viewers of this program don't know who Eric Swalwell is, and this short-lived campaign has not done a good job of folks.
I will also just say he's got a young family, and as much as the money and the practicality matters, real life personal situations also matter very much. So it wouldn't surprise me if that also weighed into the considerations
always baked
here
in.
as well. Okay, meanwhile, Tom Steyer, well, I was sticking with the Dems.
Yeah.
Tom Steyer, who had said, of course, billionaire environmental activist, known now for doing his pro-impeachment ads on television. He had been floating a presidential run, then he announced he was not going to run, and now it looks like he is going to run. Why, Congressman? Why?
I think because he hates the president and he loves the platform.
Yeah.
He became a player. He became a player because he bought a ticket to the game, paid premium prices, and wrote checks to all kinds of Democrat congressmen who would not have gotten elected without his last-minute money and targeted ads. And many of them signed his impeachment petition. So I think he's got a lot of IOUs out there that he might want to cash in on. But, you know, here's a guy who loves the game. And unfortunately, in some respects, in today's world, if you got enough money, you can go out and buy a team, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. People forget Jeff Flake actually in the Republican primary, or maybe in the Democrat primary, when he won his Senate race, his opponent spent $10 million personal dollars. So you can defeat a self-funder, but you sure have to deal with them.
Not easy.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think, Andrew? Yeah.
This really frustrates me.
Yeah.
Really frustrates me, and maybe for one of the reasons I haven't heard many people talk about is I'm worried about what does this his candidacy mean for us down the ballot. His organizations, Need to Impeach, Next Gen, have been critical players in helping us take back the House, in helping us in other, in other efforts for years now. If he changes
has a massive list and organization.
8 million person list for Need to Impeach. Next Gen has been a key player. You know, he's also been a big funder in for our future. You know, of the super PAC. If he takes his eye off of those organizations, I'm worried about what that means down the ballot. And he's not gonna win the nomination here. It's just he's not that charismatic a guy. I just don't see it, and I just worry that this is going to take the eye off the ball where he should be focused, but I do think it potentially helps Joe Biden or a woman in this race.
That's a very good point about his
organization.
And the hit that the National Party will take on that.
And to put it in comparison, Bernie Sanders can stay in this race a long time because the number of individual check writers, which I believe, Andrew, is about 1 million.
Huge.
Sure.
And so here's Tom Steyer with 8 million on this. They're not all going to be donors, but that's a good list.
Plus, the guy's a billionaire, right? He can stay in just because he. I mean,
he's not going to run out of money. Back to your original point.
I don't even understand that kind of money.
Nor do I, sir. Meanwhile, you've got Justin Amash, who was a Republican, just wrote an op-ed saying I'm now an independent. He has been a prominent critic of the president from the right, and even went so far as to say impeachment proceedings should begin, and he is not ruling out a presidential run, which, it looks like he's in tough shape in his congressional district, so maybe this is his only option.
If I was looking at his polls, which show him to be 16 to 20% behind in the Republican primary, and with no real pathway to recover the ground, I'd look very seriously about running for president, because it would be a good, exit route. The thing is, there are a lot of disgruntled billionaires out there, maybe not at Tom Steyer's level, but people who will say, you know what, I'll give this guy $500,000,
Right.
give Trump a run for the money.
Sure.
The dicey part is no one really knows who he'll take votes from. Probably Trump, but maybe not. Because he could be, the kind of libertarian.
I'm not so sure, right? Andrew says this impeachment lane is very much part of the Democratic coalition.
Yeah, but Justin Amash is not someone that I think of as a donor, like someone the donors love as a never-Trumper, right? This guy is a hardcore conservative.
It's a libertarian.
Libertarian, but he is.
There's plenty of Silicon Valley people. Oh, there's all kinds of people out there like that.
Well, sure, and I hope you're right.
All you need is one guy.
I hope you're right, but he is not, he's not trying to come in and fill the moderate independent lane, right?
No.
He's not the weld of this Republican Party. We have to remember how conservative Justin Amash really is.
He's a Tea Party guy.
Absolutely.
But remember, Gary Johnson got, I think, 3.3% of the vote.
Yeah.
So, 3.3% of the vote, that can impact that.
And I don't think that I'm not so sure Gary Johnson took them from Trump voters, right? I personally know people who didn't like Hillary Clinton and to my confusion, voted for Gary Johnson. But I don't. I mean, look. I hope that he takes away from Trump. I think Trump has a very strong base. Right.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fear of Trump.
I agree with
His
you.
base doesn't waver.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think that he can hurt Trump in Michigan. I think his following is just not significant enough in the state.
Going to be interesting to watch, gentlemen.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you both. The FBI and ICE use state driver's license databases for facial recognition searches without license holders' knowledge.
And USA, the U.S. women's World Soccer team beat the Netherlands, bringing home another World Cup victory. We'll tell you about it when Rising continues.